Overnight, 6 people are in the hospital today after a shooting in Northwest Philadelphia. This is the scene on the 5100 block of Germantown Avenue in the city's Germantown neighborhood. Police tell us all 6 victims are between the ages of 19 and 29. 5 men who were shot are now in stable condition, but a 21-year-old woman who was shot is critically injured.
The crime scene is very extensive. We found over 65 spent shell casings. It's a lot of shots. So we know over 65 shots were fired from clearly at least 2 separate caliber semi-automatic weapons.
So far, police have not made any arrests in this shooting.
They called her Moesha Matadeen, a quiet girl once seen walking the halls of St. Jago High School in Jamaica. But years later, her name would make headlines in Philadelphia. 11 gunshots, 1 ambush, and the mystery that stretches from the streets of Spanish Town to the heart of America's East Coast. What could turn a once bright student into an alleged killer? And what really happened the night she died? When word broke that Moesha had been gunned down in Philadelphia, the story spread fast, especially back in Jamaica. Social media lit up with rumors. Some said she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Others claimed she was deeply tied to one of Jamaica's most feared criminal organizations, the One Order Gang. Those who knew her say she wasn't the same after leaving the island. Whispers followed her about the company she kept, the people she met, and the things she might have done to survive. But what no one expected was just how far her past would follow her. To understand her death, you first have to understand who she was running with, the One Order Gang. Born out of the blood-soaked streets in Spanish Town, Jamaica, their reach stretches far beyond the island into the US, Canada, and the UK.
We go on to other news. A reputed member of the Spanish Town-based One Order Gang, who has been on the run for over a year, was captured at an apartment complex in St. Andrew. According to the police, he's wanted for murder and a string of shootings in St. Catherine. More in this report.
26-year-old Kevon McCollum of Beacon Hill in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, had been on the run for nearly 2 years. His freedom, however, was cut short following a high-level police operation on Wednesday.
He is a reputed member of the Black Man faction of the One Order Gang. Now, it was our intention to take him in, to apprehend him and place him before the court. I believe that operation was successful. We were able to do so with a great deal of precision. Our target was acquired, no shots were fired, no injuries were sustained, and there were no fatalities.
Mr. McCollum landed himself on the country's most wanted list following a series of shootings in St. Catherine.
He was wanted in connection with a shooting incident in February of this year, also in Spanish Town. So he was someone who was on the police's radar. He was somebody that our intelligence or capabilities were building on, and we were successful in identifying where he was and to be able to extract him and apprehend him.
According to the police, a female and a taxi driver were also apprehended. A motor vehicle was also seized. Senior communications strategist at the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Dennis Brooks, gave this response when asked whether the accused or the other 2 persons now in custody will be charged.
The investigation is in its early stages, but as you would imagine, the case against him would have been prepared, which is why he would have been elevated to the point of being wanted. So as a wanted person, there would have been case file being prepared. So in short order, I would imagine that charges would be laid.
Violence, extortion, drug routes, and a rivalry with the Clansman gang that has left entire neighborhoods scarred by gunfire.
Police in Jamaica have captured dozens of members of one of the top 5 criminal organizations on the island. They're linked to several murders and shootings, and members of security forces conducted a major operation in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, in search of members of the Clansman gang on Thursday. And in addition to several gang members being arrested, another who challenged police was fatally shot. Illegal firearms, along with a motor vehicle, cash, luxury items, and designer clothing valued at about $3 million were seized.
Today's operation culminated a 9-month-long investigation led by the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Branch, CTOC, which resulted in a series of arrests over the period. To date, 31 members of the gangs have been taken into custody. These persons arrested are being held for several offenses, which include murders and shootings. This particular investigation focused on the section of the gang under the direction of the incarcerated leader, Tesha Miller. Our investigation has linked the Clans gang to at least 800 murders since 2014. In 2018, gangs accounted for 80% of the murders committed within our country. This year, it accounted for 67% of the murder recorded. It is evident that our anti-gang strategy is working. And I believe that we will continue this effort, and step by step, we will ensure that Jamaica is safer.
Deputy Commissioner Fitz Bailey said the authorities are determined to dismantle the gang, which is operating in several other parishes.
Police describe them as a criminal network with political connections, but locals describe them as something darker, a system of fear that never dies, even when its leaders do. And when their leader, Othaniel Thickman Loban, was killed in January 2025, it set off a wave of chaos, police raids, reprisal killings, and whispers that One Order's members abroad were being hunted down one by one. It happened late, around 11:30 p.m. on the 5100 block of Germantown Avenue. A white work van pulled up, 6 men jumped out, and in seconds, over 80 shots filled the air. Neighbors described it as a war zone. Bullets shattered car windows, tore through storefronts, and sent bystanders diving for cover. When the gunfire stopped, police found a young woman, just 21 years old, riddled with bullets. They rushed her to Temple University Hospital, fighting to keep her alive. Her name was Moesha Matadeen.
A hail of bullets flying through a Germantown neighborhood just before 11:30 last night. Police say around 87 shots were fired, sending 6 people to the hospital, including a 21-year-old woman shot several times in the chest and torso, leaving her in critical condition. 5 men ranging from 19 to 29 years old in stable condition. The gunfire was exchanged at the corner of Germantown Avenue and Collins Street. Police say a group of people were standing at the corner when this white van pulled up and 6 people got out, shooting at the group on the corner. Several members of the group returned fire. The initial shooters got back in the van, which was last seen traveling westbound on Germantown Avenue, with a rack on the roof and distinctive graffiti.
Investigators believe she was the intended target, but with 65 shell casings on the ground, even the police couldn't be sure. Some said it was a random act of gang violence. Others believed it was something more deliberate, a message, a warning. The shooters never spoke. The van vanished, but the graffiti on its side, a single distinctive tag, will become the key to everything. Sources claim Moesha wasn't just an associate of One Order, she was an enforcer. In Philadelphia, she allegedly moved with other Jamaican expatriates tied to the gang, helping run operations, carrying out hits, and even driving the getaway car in a killing caught on camera months earlier. To some, she was fearless. To others, reckless. Either way, she had power and enemies. When Thickman Loban was taken out in Jamaica, the balance shifted. Leaders abroad started looking over their shoulders. And by the time Moesha's name appeared on the list, it might have already been too late.
Up first this evening, a 48-hour curfew is now in effect in sections of Eldersley Gardens and Tallspen Meadows, in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. This amidst unrest following the fatal shooting of the alleged leader of the One Order gang, Othniel Loban, otherwise called Thickman.
At least 4 people have been taken into custody in connection with mounting roadblocks. The security forces have been working to maintain calm and prevent reprisal attacks.
Amoy Harriet begins our coverage of the mayhem linked to the incident.
Police and military swarmed the usually busy streets of Spanish Town in St. Catherine Thursday morning to prevent more situations like this. It's believed thugs firebombed this business place on Young Street. They also erected roadblocks, another sign that things were heating up following the fatal shooting of alleged leader of the One Order gang, Othniel Loban, otherwise called Thickman. TVJ News understands that Mr. Loban was shot and killed by members of the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force at 6 miles in St. Andrews sometime after 10 o'clock Wednesday night. It's alleged that the police intercepted his vehicle, after which a shootout ensued.
He was one of the main targets for the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force, based on his involvement in various acts of criminality.
The fear now is that there will be reprisals. Tension is brewing, especially in the Tall's Meadows community, as residents had a strong reaction to the news of Mr. Loban's killing.
Persons, are upset. Persons are expressing themselves based on the relationship they had with Loban, who is, as I said before, was a leader in this era. It is very unfortunate. Last night we had a few incidents where the roads are blocked, attempt to burn a few premises, but we were quick on location to put some control on that.
And the security forces won't be going anywhere.
I would want to reassure all our commuters, residents within this space that we have things under control. We are not going to allow the kind of disorder that we have seen in Spanish Town over the years. We are going to be very much intolerant of this kind of behavior. Already, we have 4 persons in custody who were a part of blocking the road last night. We're going to be in these communities. The efforts will be relentless. We're not going to let up. Let's return this place into 80. It cannot work.
Because that van, the one with the graffiti, wasn't new to the streets of Philadelphia. It had been seen weeks earlier, circling neighborhoods tied to Jamaican crews, waiting, watching. In the end, all that's left are questions. Was Moesha a victim of the same violence she once helped create? Or did she know the people who came for her that night? No arrest, no suspects, just a ghost story whispered in 2 countries, from the alleys of Spanish Town to the corners of Germantown Avenue. And the question that still lingers, who was she, really? Alright y'all, there y'all have it, man. That's the crazy story of Moesha Matadeen, the enforcer for the One Order gang out of Jamaica. Hey man, get in that comment section, let me know what y'all think. Drillers and trappers, we outside trapping and drilling 247. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video. Gang!